I'm Carcino. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Yo, what's up, Carcino for Life followers? Don't forget to subscribe to the page, hit the like button. The Cash App is Carcino. All of those wonderful things. Yeah, definitely do that. Subscribe to the page if you're new. I spoke with Bob Arum on the Shakur, Stephenson, Cam Mase situation as far as what they were talking about with the numbers and the fight being boring and all of these different things. We did this live on the fly, and most people didn't catch it because they didn't stick around for the entire interview. Oh, well, the entire video. They missed out on Mr. Arum making these comments and statements as people had to see live about my actual contributions here to this thing that we call YouTube, that I actually do use the contacts and, talk to people behind the scenes. So let's listen. You tell me what you think. Yeah, so we were talking about the Shakur Stephenson situation. And the thing is that we looked at the numbers, and Cam and Mase, so they went on this whole rampage about how the fight was boring and nobody wanted to see the fight and that it didn't do well, even though we showed the numbers, or James Prince showed the numbers when Keith Idec put the numbers out, that it was the largest numbers from the Nielsen rating from 1.1, and it peaked at 1.2 million for an average audience in the network. So I think this is casual people watching the fight, and they don't understand boxing. And
I thought, unlike the fight before this, where Shakur really underperformed because he was had medical issues,
Yep.
drink. I thought he fought a hell of a fight in Newark in the last fight. He was fighting a tough guy, and he didn't run.
Nope.
He hit him. So I don't know what people are talking about. I really don't.
And that's exactly the point I was making. He stood right in front of Arum, and Arum.
No argument. Of course.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very good performance. The one thing that these people don't understand is if they're looking for a knockout in every Shakur fight, they're not going to get it.
Exactly.
Shakur isn't a knockout guy, but he punches a lot, and he's a tremendous fighter as far as maneuvering. And I thought it was a very good performance.
Yep, and this is why I try to tell people. I said Floyd Mayweather didn't knock out almost anybody in his last few fights or whatever. He wasn't knocking everybody out.
Well, again, each fighter is different. Each fighter is individual. And I thought this was a really good Shakur performance.
Yes, I thought so too. He looked good. He was slick, and he was able to stay in front of his opponent and hit and not get hit. His defense, his angles, and he wasn't running around the ring. He was staying in front of Arum, making Arum fight him.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep. So what's next for Shakur that you think?
Well, he's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm tight with with Jay Prince and the rest of the group around Shakur. And after he tests free agency, if he wants to come to Top Rank, well, we'd be delighted to re-sign him. I like the kid a lot.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys lock him up in a big deal.
And he's a free agent now. It's like no different from a football player.
Yeah.
Guy finishes contract, free agent, he tests the market. That's what Shakur is doing. Hopefully, after he tests the market, come back to us, and we'll put a deal on the table that's satisfactory to him.
All right. Well, thank you for clearing this up for us.
Yeah.
And so we can explain this to some of the people who are confused by some of these casuals that don't understand boxing.
I'm as big a Shakur fan as any person you've ever met.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for the time, Uncle Bob.
Okay, good.
All right. Now, you just heard from Bob Arum, founder and president of Top Rank Promotions. And you just heard he was the promoter for the fight that you witnessed, and you don't seem to understand. He's been Shakur's promoter for all of his fights. Now, he admitted that he had a medical issue the first fight, the fight before this, so he didn't perform as well. But this one, he performed extremely well, I thought. And I'm just like, wow. Who is going around saying that the fight is boring? And then I say, oh, okay, it's casuals that don't understand or watch boxing. You know, shouts out to D-Style Boxing. You know, he's one that watches boxing as well. You got Rope It Up Radio, Boxing Show. You have 78 Sports TV, Blood Boxing. You know, guys who are like core. You know, Joe Abib, another guy that's like doing it. You had a bunch of guys that was lived and breathed this thing. You had Strike Hearts. He was doing his thing. There's plenty of them. Blue Blood Boxing, the boxing socialist himself, Sean Craddock, who's actually a referee now for USA Boxing. So I'm just saying, man, it's in a lot of people's blood. And the fact that we have situations that might go left or go right, you know, it's all up on us. But when you're into boxing, you understand this is what it was, a boxing fight. All of them are not going to be knockouts. I mean, he stood in front of the guy, boxed him, and beat him right in front of him. So I'm trying to figure out, what do the crowd really want here? I don't really get it. Like, I really have a hard time, and I'm really pressed with trying to figure out what it is that the crowd want to see. I really have a hard time understanding that sometimes. Now, Cam and Mase is entitled to their opinion. They have a satire show. Like, they was going to do this one day and just let it go. Shakur Stephenson made a mistake in engaging with them on social media. He's young. He's emotional. He feel like they're defaming me. They're ruining my brand. They're trying to lure me into a situation that didn't need to be. So I get it. I understand. But when you got Cam and Mase saying these statements about you that isn't true, or it's just a narrative that they're putting out there for the world, and it's not the truth. It's not. If you watch the boxing fight, it wasn't boring. But if you used to watching like Tank, giving you a 30-second or TikTok knockout, yeah, you're going to say, oh, man, Tank is great because he's knocking the guy out. But what was the skill level of the guy he was fighting? He's knocking out dudes that's like YouTube fighters. Ryan Garcia and Rolly. It's like, come on, man. I get it. Tank can fight, and he's great. And he's a strong knockout fighter, but come on, man. This dude, Stephenson, is asking to fight Tank. Y'all should say, okay, cool. He asking for the challenge. He wants to be in the toughest fight possible. Instead of giving him the credit and said, man, he's calling out the guys that y'all love so much. Y'all like, nah, he boring. You don't want to see him. Like, what are y'all crazy? I would love to see Shakur Stephenson in the ring with Tank Davis or Devin Haney. I think they all need to fight each other. This is what's going on. Teofimo Lopez is out there. This is what boxing fans want to see. We want to see the real fights again. Because all these people are talking about fighting and ain't fighting. All this one fight a year crap is what's ruining the sport right now. We have to get back to the sport being a sport again. It's too much nonsense going on. Now, either you're going to be real or you're going to be fake. So let's get it corrected out there in this boxing world. And don't forget to support the Nate Jones story. Nate Jones is one of the trainers for Floyd Mayweather, bronze medal winner for the Olympics, former heavyweight fighter. I believe he was the NABF heavyweight champion before, but don't quote me on it. So on the Patreon today, finally, you're going to find out what that Not Like Us video was all about that you kept seeing, that house with the 3 little dots on it. We're taking care of that today. That's an hour-long video. It's going to premiere. And I will tell you this, you're going to have all your answers when you watch that video. We put a lot of time in putting that 1-hour video together. So just know, took a lot of time to get done. But it's done, and it's going out to the public today on the Patreon for my VIP members. Thanks, everybody who sent me a Cash App. Carcino is the name on the Cash App. And my peoples are here to clean the crib. All right. Hello. All right. This your first time here?
Yeah, my first.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I ain't recognize you. All right, hold on 1 second. We'll give you the tour. All right, everybody, I got to go. Shouts out to Armando Black TV. Welcome to HD IITV. Kwame Brown Bus Life. Jag Sports with Jose Rodriguez. Ticket TV. Don't forget me, myself. And who else did I forget? Oh, the Dreamers Pro. And I'm out. Okay, here we go.